Good morning, everybody. I am back again with another video. This morning I'm going to be making buttermilk biscuits. I know a lot of people requested this, and I've been making biscuits for a long time, but this has got to be the easiest recipe I've ever made. So let's get started. Let me turn this around so that you can see. There we go. So what we're going to start with, the recipe calls for a half a cup of salted butter, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 1/2 teaspoon of granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 3/4 cups of buttermilk. But because I'm using butter that's already salted, I'm not going to be putting any salt into this recipe. When I tell you this is an easy recipe, I mean easy. So what we're going to start off with, anytime you're baking anything, you want to start off with your dry ingredients. So let's get started with that. We'll start off with 2.5 cups of flour. This is my flour. And I just dip it into the bag. And that's 1. And mix it on with another one. That's 2. And then it says 2.5. So let's find the 1/2 cup. And let's go 1/2 cup. Like that. So that takes care of our flour. Move that out of the way because we don't need it anymore. And then it goes for 1.5 cups of a tablespoon of sugar. So what I've done, because my measuring cup didn't fit inside of my sugar container, I'm just going to get it from here. So I'm going to use the same cup, and I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. I know I'm shrinking a little extra, but okay. 1 cup of sugar. And then it says 1/2 tablespoon. So I'm going to get my tablespoons out. And we're going to put 1/2 one in there. I probably already added extra anyway, but it makes it good. So, to these dry ingredients, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Now, make sure you get baking powder and not soda, because it won't work. So, let's put in our tablespoon of baking powder. And this little thing right here is used to scrape the edge so that it's nice and level. So that's our baking powder. And because I'm using butter with salt in it already, I'm not going to be putting in any salt. Just straighten that up a little bit. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix these dry ingredients together like this, so that they're all mixed. And you can do it with a spoon. So to this, I'm going to add 1 3/4 cup of buttermilk. Now, if you like biscuits, you should know that buttermilk biscuits are the best. So I'm going to use 1 cup. That's 1. And then I'm going to use 3/4 cup. Cup. Okay. So that takes care of my buttermilk. Now, when I tell you this recipe is easy, I mean it's easy. So I'm just going to put that over there. And then what I'm going to do is stir my batter with a fork until it mixes all together. So let's stir and stir and stir. So here I am, I'm just a stirring and a stirring, and you'll see that the mix starts to come together. Now, the good thing about these biscuits is, usually, and you still can, you can make your biscuits round. But these are so easy until you don't even have to cut them out. So let's stir this and stir this. And there you can see it's come together. It's a sticky dough. So that's another difference in the ones that you cut out. So to my baking pan, I'm going to add 1 stick of melted butter. Yeah, this biscuits is not for the ones who are on a diet, I would say. There. So I just add that in. And then what you do is you just take your biscuits after you've mixed them and you put it into all that goodness, that butter. Yes, it's goodness. So, let's put all that in here. Scrape out as much as you can. And then what you're going to want to do is get your dough flattened so that it touches all edges. And that's okay if some of that, let me just put this so you can see. That's okay if some of that good old butter comes up on top. That's even the more better. So you flatten it out so that your edges are touching your baking pan. And then, the one thing I like about this recipe, what you're going to do, I'm just smoothing it out, hope you can see that. What you're going to do is you're going to slice these. So when they bake, they're going to be easier to get out. So I'm just slicing them across. I hope you can see that. And then I'm going to slice it down the middle. Just like that. So when they get done, they'll be easy to cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake these in a 450 degree oven for 25 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven and then I'll be back and we'll see what we have. Okay, I'm back. Well, what I did is I went ahead and baked the biscuits and I just took them out of the oven. And because I did go through and cut them once, I'm going to cut them again. And I wish I had, I know they don't have smell-o-vision, but I wish you had phone-o-vision also. So let me cut them across again. Ooh. And when I say these are cooked in butter, that's no joke. So let's try to get one out of here. And when you cook them in butter, oh, these are the easiest biscuits to warm up. And I usually don't like warmed up biscuits, but these are the good ones. So let's go ahead and give it a slice. Whew, it's hot. So what I did is I got some jelly, which this is a strawberry jelly. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little butter on it, even though it has a lot of butter on it already. Let's put some more. You can never get too much butter. And I'll say butter, I mean butter. And then I'm going to add a little bit of strawberry rhubarb is what this is. And this jelly comes from my own company called Delish Jams and Jellies. And what I'll do is I'll put the link down below and you can log on and you can see what kinds of jellies that I make, and I do ship everywhere. And they are low sugar because I'm diabetic, so I started making low sugar jelly for myself to enjoy without being, without it being overly sweet. So I went ahead and fixed myself an egg and some sausage. And I'm just going to transfer my biscuit over here because I like it all on the same plate. So let's try a biscuit, some of this biscuit. It's so good. It's light and fluffy. And as I said, if you want to roll these out, you can. So this is going to be the end of the video. And like I said, I'll put the description, I'll put the recipe down in the links, and also where you can get this delicious jelly at. Delicious jams and jellies. So thank you for watching, and look forward to another one. Have a great one.